You're gonna hear some chewing on the podcast. I ate a shit ton of active yeast, so I'm eating a bunch of gummy worms. I'm hoping that the sugar and the yeast get along, and in 8 to 12 years, we'll get drunk off some tummy whiskey. '27th episode, Pillars of On podcast. We're back to the triumphant trio. It's Devin, Nick, and Ryan. So,
what's up, bro?
There's nothing triumphant about any of us.
Dude, we're playing Lee's Palace tomorrow. I'm excited.
No, we're not. By the time anyone watches this, we'll have played Lee's Palace 2 days ago.
Sorry, as of recording this, we're playing Lee's Palace.
Nice shout out for a show that
as of listening to this, we played to probably an empty room.
And it was fucking terrible because I broke my leg.
And Ryan broke his leg. Dude, don't.
I fucking got on stage and I did a stomp and it went the wrong way and then my ankle just fucking went.
I mean, fuck, like the Lee's stage is pretty high up. Like I remember
it is pretty high up. It's like shoulder height.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last time I was there, I was watching Miss May I and the Word Alive, and I think that was like back in July. So fucking.
They played Lee's?
Yeah, they did. It was really cool. They did Deceiver.
That was back in July, right?
Yeah, they did Deceiver in its entirety, Word Alive, and then Miss May I did Monument in its entirety. Though I wish they would have fucking done Apologies for the Week, because that's a better album, IMO. But they were like, fuck you.
You know it's the podcast when Nick has a dog whimpering in the background.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't shut the fuck up. Quiet down.
Yeah, I went to see Amigo the Devil at Lee's Palace, and the venue is kind of cool. I liked how it's set up.
Dude, I remember in 2016.
It's a mediocre.
Oh, before we get too far in, Ryan, what are we playing today?
Oh, yeah. You're not going to forget this week so that I can actually do something and not have to record it on my own and have an existential crisis while playing through Proteus?
Okay, what gave you an existential crisis during fucking Proteus?
Okay, well, I'm gonna start this game because it's been a year now, and I think it's time we address this.
Oh, No Man's Sky.
No.
It's been a year.
No Man's Sky.
Literally, it's been a year.
Doesn't EA keep coming out saying, we got big plans, we got big plans?
No, legitimately, BioWare came out like 2 weeks ago being like, hey, we're just going to stop updating it and literally redo the game.
Yeah, because like at this point, I mean, right from the get-go, it was fucking,
It was a fun game. I enjoyed my time here. It's dead and there's nothing left to do, so this is going to be a fun hour.
From what I hear, there's nothing to do to begin with.
No, the game itself, like the main story and like the main missions, and then once you reach a certain point, it's BioWare.
I don't know, man.
I was
gonna say, I think like the golden era of BioWare left with like Mass Effect 3, yeah.
Yep.
Because and then before that, I mean, like I think about some games that BioWare made back. Like I mean, I always go back to Knights of the Old Republic because that was my like favorite BioWare game. Both of those fucking games, man. Back in the golden era of Star Wars games too.
They're kind of
BioWare was like right in there, bro. Yeah, it's coming back slowly.
Fallen Order was supposed to be good.
Yeah, Fallen Order was actually really fun. I mean, and I know this sounds funny, but you guys would love it because it's basically a Souls game.
That's what I've heard.
With further more okay, picture the perfect marriage between Uncharted and like Dark Souls and Star Wars.
The Christmas lights are still up in this game. That's how much they haven't touched it.
Oh, nice. I mean, I fuck with that though. Like, if I could, I'd keep my Christmas tree up all year long. I'm one of those fucking weirdos.
I am too, but it's out of pure laziness.
Christmas,
dude, I suck the cock off Christmas. It's like the only time of year where like my fucking serotonin levels are at an all-time high for an entire month.
So you get the milk from Santa.
My serotonin's at an all-time low. Fucking thanks to Red Dead 2.
Yeah, did you beat it?
No, but I almost don't want to.
It just gets worse, bro.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it's legitimately depressing me.
But it is probably one of the best written fucking game stories of all time.
Absolutely. First off, I didn't expect it to go the way it is. I won't give away like spoilers because Ryan hasn't played.
It's gonna be
dude,
dude, so good.
This game is legitimately making me so fucking sad.
I think I finished it. Like I actually like, fully finished the game. It would have been around this time last year because I didn't end up completing it within like the first few months of owning it, just because like my first few days of having it, I played the shit out of it, and then like I work and stuff as the months went on, I just like kind of let it sit on the back burner. And then when I finally finished it, and like I sat like it just blazed through it, I was like, holy fuck, that was fucking brutal. I remember Mackenzie like sat and watched me play the last 5 hours of the game are like kind of like boring, but they're story wise they're good. So like I'm sitting there and I'm playing like these like should just like straight because I just like I'm not giving. I like haven't played this in so long. I just want to beat this fucking thing. I've been trying to beat this game for months. And then the ending's pretty fucking cool, like how they tie everything together. You'll really, I think you'll really like it.
They give you something that'll make you happy. Jeff?
I'm so excited not yet to finish it. It's this. You weren't fucking joking. Like when you came over, you're at the point where it's all downhill. I was thinking, okay, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, the whole game is like
it's just been a constant descent, just constant. It's like watching Fault in Our Stars if it was like a 150-hour movie
in the West.
Just in terms of the devastating sadness, it's true. Like I'll finish playing, and it's like there's like zero gratification to anything anymore. It's just, yo, you beat this level. Here's some more depression. It's like, oh man,
it's so funny, man. I remember back when I was following like all the original coverage of the game, like when it was before it came out, and I was like just getting hyped up for it and getting excited. I remember not liking like when they first showed off Arthur Morgan. I was kind of like because I was hoping that they were gonna do. I mean, I'm glad that they didn't just because of the way that everything turned out. But I was really hoping that they were just gonna fucking take Jack, like John Marston's son, and kind of show us, because I really loved the idea in Red Dead Redemption, like the original one, where where John dies and then fucking Jack takes up his mantle, like because he wasn't supposed to. It's almost like a reverse fucking Gohan from Dragon Ball Z, like whereas he was started off as a Saiyan, didn't want to be a Saiyan anymore. Like Jack's like didn't want anything to do with being a gunslinger, and then as a result of like keeping up his father's legacy and when the want for revenge and shit, he he did whatever. So I thought maybe this game was going to be more of like a Jack's revenge story, like further revenge story, instead of just tying it off with the death of Edgar Ross and all that kind of shit. So but I'm really, really, really happy that they ended up making Arthur Morgan a character, because he's just like, he's phenomenally written, and the vocal delivery is insane.
Yeah, like not even making him a character, just making him like such I want to say agreeable character, because I don't exactly agree with, but like I feel for him like a lot, like on the good and the bad. And it's just like, and in fact, this is just a fucking character. Like I don't feel like this about other video game characters, but it's like it's just Rockstar's writing. Like the last time I really felt for a character, I'm pretty sure it's Grand Theft Auto 5.
That's why a majority of people are like,
what did you feel for in 5?
Franklin? Don't say Franklin, please.
What?
I really hated Franklin.
A little bit of all of them. More so Michael and fuck. This stupid friend. Trevor? Yeah.
I didn't really feel for Trevor. He's a fucking psychopath.
No, I didn't feel for any of them. They're all kind of shitbags.
Feeling from in like a oh boohoo like empathy, but like you kind of see like where they were and kind of like their ideas, and kind of like based off their character why they do what they do.
Yeah, I like the only thing I hated about GTA 5 was I thought it was really cool that Rockstar like stepped outside of their comfort zone and did something that was out of the completely left field for them. Like there was a bunch of when Red Dead 2 was originally announced, there was all these fucking hypotheses that were saying that they were going to do, they were going to expand on that 3-character system, and you get to play as every member of the Vanderland gang and stuff, and like you get to switch in between them. And I was like, it's cool, but the one thing I hated about it, like where they kind of returned to form in Red Dead 2, is that I got to focus on this singular character and grow with him over the course of the game. Whereas in GTA 5, I felt like
I feel with him a little bit more. Is that you kind of you're with this character step one to the last one.
Exactly, and GTA 5, like as much as I thought it was really cool and I thought the gameplay aspect of it was really fucking awesome, I just sat back and I was like, I can't really like any of these characters because I find myself like taking a bias, but then they want you to kind of like every I don't know, it's just the whole thing. I mean, I just felt like
They
it was
wanted you to like every character or use all the characters, but not, but in a way that you can't agree with them. Like, why would I want to use Franklin where, I don't like
yeah, because for me, like
Careful.
Franklin, like for me,
connects.
for me, Franklin was like kind of like one of the weakest characters just because it had already been done. Like we already saw CJ, like we already saw this guy who
We already did the gang life.
Yeah, we already did like
done
the
a little
kid in
better in
the
San Andreas.
yeah. Exactly, and then like I felt like Trevor was a predictable psychopath. Like I mean, it was cool, it was funny, it was comedic relief, but he would have done so much better as a side character. I felt like Michael DeSanta, because when they originally showed the trailers, Michael was the first character you ever saw in the reveal trailer. They never explained who he was. They never said whatever. It's just how Rockstar is. But he was the character that I was like, honestly, I know he's kind of a stereotypical like ex whatever, but I feel like an ex bank robber who was supposed to be dead, who ended up being alive. If you had focused on that character and built around him and built this whole narrative where he was atoning for like the things that he had done as a bank robber and trying to build a better life for his family, instead of it being like his family's all comedic relief and they're all shitheads.
Yeah, like they're
this
trying
is
to
like
make a better life, but like even though you're trying to get away from the bank rob, kind of like the whole Red Dead thing. Even though you're trying to get away from that life, you got to do that life to. The
whole game to me was just like a more modern jab at what Los Angeles culture has become. Less of like it was more of like a
city. Michael's.
But
honestly.
Now, do you think if GTA 5 did that model, do you think that Red Dead 2 would have been the way it is now?
You mean if Red Dead 2 did that model?
Well, because that's basically what Red Dead 2's model is it follows the one character.
You mean like if
if GTA 5 did that model that you proposed, the whole follow Michael and his storyline of an ex-bank robber trying to make a better life.
Well, I think they
pretty reminiscent with.
I would believe that Red Dead 2 was written before GTA 5 came out.
Yeah, but the one thing with Red Dead 2 was that like it was more like the thing with Red Dead 2 is it was less about him being a bank robber, more about him being an outlaw and how like being an outlaw was a lifestyle.
That's what I mean. It's not necessarily bank robber, but an ex blank trying to make a better life. Whether it's gunslinger, outlaw, bank robber, prostitute, I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it really would have made a difference on Red Dead's part.
No, I don't think so either, because like I just find that the narratives are two completely different things.
It's
like I mean,
two different
not so
writing
much
teams
narrative.
as well.
I'm talking about the formula, though.
It's again.
Rockstar's formula.
Between
Rockstar's formula has been the same forever. I honestly, what I thought was going to happen was, and I'm glad that they actually didn't end up doing this, because like I find that when you get too much into the micromanagey kind of shit, like in video games, like where they try to add in a little too much detail, you become like Ubisoft games. Like where I thought,
that's immediately
what I thought was going to happen with Red Dead 2 is that it was going to add in a lot of those, exactly what Ryan said, a lot of those Assassin's Creed sort of elements, where like every single new Assassin's Creed game that came out back like in Ezio's collection.
It was after 2, yeah.
Yeah, how do we further create mini games that have fuck all to do with
how do we
like,
further keep their time without actually adding anything of substance is the question.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why with Red Dead 2 I was so happy that people were all like, oh, well, there's not really much in the gameplay outside of like really following the main story. And I was just like, you're looking at all the wrong places. There's so much to do. It's just that the story to me was so enticing that I never went off the beaten path besides to do side missions and whatever. But I just did like a secondary playthrough because it like, I wanted to take everything in. But that first initial playthrough, it was like, I can't not do the next mission.
Yeah, and I think with a lot of people like, oh, there's not too much to do outside the story. Red Dead 2 forces you to find not necessarily forces, but like there's a lot of side quests that don't show up on your map. They happen out of proximity. Let's say you travel into Valentine, and then a stranger quest will pop up, right? But you have to be there in order for that to happen. So it's not like you just open up your map like, oh, look, immediately all of these missions that are instantly gratified to me. That I didn't have to do anything. They just kind of rush through them all and they're gone. Even the side missions were in Red Dead 2 were just lots of fun.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, I thought it's so funny because Rockstar's like like patented formula now. The whole, each mission's kind of like just a copy of another mission in the game. They kind of follow. There's like 5 different mission formulas, and they all follow those 5. Only like Bully did it, fucking Red Dead did it, GTA did it. I felt like in the Red Dead setting, like in that Wild West setting, where with like just the way that people were back in the Wild West, like how they're portrayed in media and how vastly different the culture was back then. I felt like the way that Rockstar's formula goes in video games, where it's like mission, story, mission, fucking side mission, side quest, like blah blah blah. I felt like it really shines through in the Red Dead Redemption, like in Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. I mean, not so much Revolver, because Revolver was completely linear, but Redemption 1 and 2, like just the way that the side quest things, like the exploration, the way that everything worked, and even the way that the world felt was so much more breathtaking to me than a GTA game. Because I mean, like, I love GTA. I love the formula behind GTA, but I don't play GTA to get like immersed in something. I play GTA to fuck around pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's one of those just do shit kind of games.
It's basically like, oh my god, fuck, this game is so much fucking fun. And there's the bonus, a great story. I don't know what else to say. Like, basically, it's like how I went into every single GTA except for number 4. I felt like GTA 4 was the first Grand Theft Auto that really took itself seriously, and it sucked because everyone shit on it as a result. And I was like, but it's pretty much like the best one narratively. Like, it's just so fucking well written.
If I want a narrative game, I'll play a Kojima game. If I want to have fun,
no, exactly, I get it.
Well,
I mean, it was still fun. Like, it still allowed you to do shit you wanted to do.
Like GTA 4, kind of like different between like, all the other GTAs and GTA 5 is that, or even Red Dead, we're talking about how well written the characters were. The narrative in GTA 4 is great, but characters, I couldn't feel one which way about, Nico or anyone. Just the characters were just very, in my opinion, kind of poorly written. I like GTA 4. I'm not one of the guys that shits on the game, but I just feel like the voice actors and the writing for the characters specifically could have been a little bit better.
In GTA 4?
But obviously they learned. Like, look at GTA 4, and then you got Red Dead 1, GTA 5, Red Dead 2. Look how they wrote the characters. Like, they obviously took it much more seriously, even if the narrative wasn't super serious.
See, that's the thing. Like with GTA 4, like I felt like the best characterization throughout the entire game was Nico Bellic, and then everybody else around him was lackluster. Whereas like GTA 5, I hated the 3 main characters, but everyone else around the 3 main characters was so well written.
Yeah, 4 felt like one person doing some shit. 5 felt like a world, and that's why I liked it.
And then that's why, like, when Red Dead 2 came out, it almost brought like both of those things together. You have an absolutely amazing standalone character whose own personal story doesn't overshadow that of what the actual narrative is trying to tell, which is about like a band of outlaws. You just happen to be like a key piece in that sort of thing. Like, I love how they did it. It was the perfect meld of that singular characterization that we got in Nico Bellic, and how in depth and how self-aware that was, and then taking the vast well-built world and side characters that we would have seen in like GTA 5 and just made like a perfect. I think they honestly learned a lot too from doing games like Bully, like from kind of doing those offshoot games and doing games like Max Payne, where it's more of like a character study and less of, it's how we were just saying, like, GTA 4 would have been better as a game about, instead of being a GTA game, being a game like almost like a Max Payne clone, and having it be about a linear game about this Russian, this ex-soldier who comes to America, is trying to find wealth and gets tied up in a bunch of bullshit. Sort of like Max Payne going to Brazil, getting tied up in a bunch of fucking bullshit with a rich Brazilian family, and then going about his day as that. Like I feel like GTA 4 didn't really feel like a Grand Theft Auto. Felt more like
it could have been anything else, and I feel like it would have been better.
Yeah, pretty much. It almost felt like I was thinking too a few days ago. I was just about to compare it to something that has like actually nothing to do with what I wanted to compare it to. But I was also thinking a few days ago, like, were you guys ever play a bunch of Saints Row?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the latter two games or the former two games? Like number 1 and 2 or number 3 and 4? Like which two? Because I find that both of
I'd
them
say
are almost like separate
and
entities.
I'd say 2 and 3.
3 was my favorite.
Reasons being, I never really played that much of 4, so I don't have too much of an opinion
I
about
didn't
it.
either. Didn't touch
But
4.
Four
Saints,
just looked
I
too
found
wild.
Saints
Yeah.
Row 1 was trying too hard to be a Grand Theft Auto killer and failed. And then in Saints Row 2 and 3, they kind of realized, okay, look, we're not going to be doing what not Saints Row, we're not going to be doing what Grand Theft Auto's doing. Let's kind of do our own thing and kind of start adding that comedy aspect to it, like in 2 and 3. And as far as I know, 4 is just nonsense. They started really adding that comedy. So I would say 3, just because 3 was a good one, but 2 and 3, just because they weren't trying too hard to be something they weren't.
Yeah, I felt like number 1 was just like fun, and it was like really cool because it was kind of building what would have made like an amazing few sequels. Number 2, I thought was kind of like the perfect mix between fucking crazy ass mayhem and like
2 just wasn't
serious
goofy
gang
enough
stories.
for me.
Yeah, 2 was like where it was starting to kind of find its goofiness. That's why I liked it, because like I really liked number 1's seriousness, and I really liked the tone that it set. And it was just another copy and paste like gang story. It was nothing special. But then number 2 came out, and they added in like customize your crib and like all this crazy shit, like crazy mini games and stuff. And then I thought number 3, like I just thought the jokes were kind of like meh, but I thought the game itself was a lot of fun, and like the way stylistically it was really good. Well, there was one joke in like the first game that always fucking made me laugh, even though it is a mad joke, and it was Johnny Gat looking at the main character like back before the main character had a voice, and he literally only talked once through every single gang campaign, and I think was Johnny Gat's like, you're going up into this penthouse to fight this one chick and like her boyfriend because they're like the leaders of this like posh gang or some shit. And he looks at the main character and he goes, I'm gonna skull fuck that bitch when I get up there. And then your guy looks over. The first time like he's spoken the entire campaign, he just goes, I hope you don't mind getting hepatitis. And I just thought it was the funniest shit when I was a kid. And then I look back now and I'm like, wow, that was terribly fucking
That is terribly. That's
Volition was sitting there going, damn.
Shit.
Volition was there going, damn, son, that was fucking God, that was fire, dog. We just wrote a good line.
You laughed though. You got like they got what they were going for.
At 13 years, that's like
of the joke.
Yeah, at like 13 years old, that was really funny. But at like 23 now, like 10 years later, I'm sitting there going, I mean, it was still funny. I'll still give it that.
Still laughed.
I was doing a little bit of a nostalgia trip, and I went on some like the really, really old Flash games on Newground.
Yeah, you got to play them now, buddy.
And just trying to find the edgiest shit. And man, some of these things that people made, I wonder if they look back now after 20 years and look like what they think of that. Like, oh, whoa, man, I was like 13 when I made that. Don't judge. There's some awful, terribly written things on Newground.
No shit. It was like the dark ages of the internet.
It was the best. Fucking love gummy worms. Oh, Ryan, you said that you had something that would cheer me up?
Mm-hmm. It is exactly 1 month away until Animal Crossing.
Yeah, my brother was watching something on it just like maybe an hour or two ago. I was like, damn, the sun already? Holy.
I was thinking that there was another game coming out around that time or on that day, but I forgot because Animal Crossing is just too cool.
Yeah, no, it's just Animal Crossing coming out that day.
Dog, it's only a matter of time before Cyberpunk eventually releases.
Mm.
I want to play Doom. Oh
yeah, Doom.
Oh yeah, that's out the same day as Animal. Isn't okay? Yeah, no, Doom.
Yeah, they come out on the exact same day.
Ryan was making a joke.
Ryan's a bitch.
Damn straight.
I mean, both. I just like I kind of chimed in because I think both are pretty much appealing. Doom or Animal Crossing, they're both going to be good.
I'm super excited for Animal Crossing because it means I get to play Doom.
Why? Because Alyssa
will be playing Animal Crossing, and I just get to play Doom.
Doom.
I'm excited that The Last of Us Part 2 finally has a fucking release date.
Last of Us Part Poo.
Don't say that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of with him on that. I really didn't like Last of Us.
Really?
I was
The reason I
liked
didn't
it.
is because it couldn't decide what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
I got some horror aspects, I got some drama aspects, I got some stealth, I got some action, and all of it just felt really half-assed.
Well, that's PlayStation for you.
No, it wasn't. It was just Naughty Dog trying way too much. Like that game, if you had just kind of stuck to the stealth and the horror aspect, I think it would have been perfect.
And like kind of leave the
for
whole
me.
Uncharted feel out of it.
Yeah. I don't want to see Nathan Drake with a child.
Yeah.
This is a fucking terrifying world.
I can see what you mean by that, because it is one of those games where it's like the story's good, the gameplay is good, and you're just like, I just want to play, but it starts pulling all this Nathan Drake shit,
Yeah.
Uncharted shit, where it's just like, hey, it's push forward on the left stick through this half-hour cutscene, have fun. It's like, man,
Yeah.
I want to play. I want to play the game.
No, narratively it was great. It was just
Do
the whole tone of the game changed so much. It takes me out of it. Like Death Stranding, I fucking loved it because there was one tone. It was fucking sad and boring. At least it's one tone.
I can feel that. I was on IGN earlier today. I was looking at a list of video game movies that are in the works.
Ooh.
And I didn't know that this September, that's the release date, the Monster Hunter movie is coming out, because I didn't know there was a fucking Monster Hunter movie.
Mila Jovovich.
From but not just her, but like the creators of the Resident Evil movies. So of course they'd
Mila Jovovich.
they'd work with her.
Yes.
You know.
No, I'm excited. I'm fucking excited for that.
Did you guys hear
some of the pictures, and it looks terrible?
It does. That's why I'm so excited.
Did you guys hear today that the Borderlands movie just got a director attached to it?
Got a director. I was going to bring that
Eli
up.
Roth, bro. That's
Yes.
like the guy who
Hostel.
directed a Hostel.
And Green
They're getting
Inferno.
Eli Roth.
If you haven't seen Green Inferno, I
am
recommend the shit out of that movie.
Excited.
I mean, I am really excited because I really liked Hostel, and I really liked. I didn't really like the Green Inferno. I thought it was all right. I thought it was just kind of like a more tame version of Cannibal Holocaust.
That was exactly. That's why if you can watch that, then go to Cannibal Holocaust. But I liked it.
No, like I thought it was still good, and like I saw the appeal, considering the majority of people going into that probably hadn't seen Cannibal Holocaust.
That's my litmus test. If you can't make it through Green Inferno, we can't be friends.
Dude, I keep forgetting he also did Cabin Fever, man.
Mhm.
Like, fuck, dude. I'm excited just because I'm sitting back going, okay, like Eli Roth has like a really cool kind of grindhouse
Don't
sort
forget
of
A
old
House
school feel
with the
to him.
Clock in its walls.
Yeah, isn't that a new one?
Yeah, it was a Jack Black Kids film, but he did it.
Fuck, man, that's gonna be. So I'm pretty excited to see what he does with. I'm really excited to see what he does with Borderlands. Yeah.
If Randy doesn't take all the budget for crack.
It was Cam Girls. Get it right.
I'm sure it was both, buddy. You don't do one without the other. I'm just saying.
Another movie that fucking bums me out that it's probably not going to happen is the Metro 2033 movie.
Yeah, they're not.
Last thing I checked on it, I just knew that I think it was Columbia Pictures bought the rights. But I guess it's been halted because Dmitry Glukovsky, the director, just are not getting along with deciding what the setting's going to be. So they just halted the movie completely.
Honestly, I mean that seems to be like kind of like how it goes with video game movies though, because there was supposed to be a Dead Island movie through Lionsgate like 10 years ago.
But here's why I don't get the fucking Metro 2033 one. The director is arguing with the author, the guy who created the world, on what the setting should be. Just follow the author. It's his world.
Yeah, well, they didn't hire the author to do the movie.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean it'd be the same kind of like with how like the second last Star Wars film went, where everyone was upset with it because this fucking dickhead of a director just took the story in whichever direction he felt necessary, and it was just like you're kind of going off the beaten path of the source material, and everyone hates you for it. Why would you do this? And it was like fuck you, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, like there's one thing with going off of the source material. There's another thing to hire the author of the movie as a consultant and then ignore him.
Yeah, but I mean that's what consultants are, right? Like they're just there to consult. They're not
He is
there
really
to,
just there to
yeah,
kind of give his piece.
like the director, he could be like, well, I think you should do this because I mean, like I wrote the story. The director could go, no, I think we should do this.
But it's just the setting that they won't get past.
I know.
Is post-apocalyptic Moscow not good enough? Like,
Sometimes, because what
Exodus
what a lot of
changed that setting.
yeah, I was gonna say like I feel like
they bought the rights to the movie in like 2014,
Mm-hmm.
back when it was only like Last Light.
The world has changed technically, so.
And I know it sounds really funny, but I mean, like sometimes with these kind of movies where like they're set in foreign locations, a lot of times like when an American director, like when a director of sorts like picks it up, they might put it in a different country due to like political conditions and shit.
Well,
which
yeah,
is really dumb. But like that's just like it's really.
But that
stupid.
makes sense though. But one of the things is that like let's say they're going off of the books, kind of like a Harry Potter thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the first book just takes place in the metro. It was like a pretty easy build.
Yeah, you could do it inside like a metro subway tunnel and just not say it's the Moscow tunnels. You could just say they're just metro tunnels.
Yeah, but then
what
it's
I'm
not
saying is
Metro
that,
2033.
Well, what I'm saying is that
Well,
like
still Metro
they don't
2033
really, if it's something like that, let's say it's taking place in the tunnels, right? You don't need to fly the Moscow to film. You
Oh,
can
you know,
build
no,
a-
Well,
can
that's
do
what
a
you meant by
set or-
setting. Okay, I thought you meant like legitimately where the movie was going to like fictionally take
No,
place.
just the setting.
Just where to record. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay,
But like,
that makes a lot more
you know,
shit
when
sense.
you choose the fictional setting, that's where you go into film setting. But like, I don't know. I don't know if they're not releasing that many details, but I just know that they can't agree on the setting. But I don't know what they plan
Like-
on doing.
like
with it.
where-
I don't know
like-
if they're going off of the movies. I don't know. Sorry, the movies. I don't know if they're going off the books or if they're just doing like its own, like the movie is its own thing that will take bits and pieces from all the books.
No, Ryan, he did originally mean like setting, as in like they don't know where to put, like where to make the movie, like the setting of the movie, the plot, like where it's going
Yeah,
to take
like
place.
where the plot's gonna.
Not he didn't mean filming locations.
Oh, so both of those were up in the air.
Yeah, well, because
one dictates the other, right?
Technically, yeah, but
yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you could literally put it inside subway tunnels, have it be everything the same. It's just that throughout the whole movie, they don't in dialogue off like while you're listening to them do dialogue, they just doesn't have to be any mention of Moscow or Russia. It could just be like, oh, we're down in this metro subway
Well, I
system.
think
Give
they
them
would.
Russian accents. Just don't say anything. Like
Well, they probably would. It doesn't change the story. Like what I'm saying is that you don't need to fly to the Moscow metro.
No,
to
of
film
course,
the
yeah.
movie. Just build a set and be like, hey, this is exhibit station. This is,
yeah, but what I was saying earlier about like the political thing was, I mean, not going to Russia to film. What I was saying was that like sometimes like when an American director like picks up a film and they're doing it like even fictional wise, like if it's set somewhere where that like the U.S. doesn't politically really get along with, sometimes they'll change that story wise. So they'll go, oh well, let's tell the story of like Metro 2033, but let's do it in America. Like say if America had the
Yeah,
same,
but-
they'd have to do it.
when.
Can't have
Yeah,
the
also-
commies winning.
But what I'm saying is, wouldn't that change the other entertainment mediums? I mean, we love the games
yeah,
over
for sure,
here.
yeah.
We love the books over here. Why would
I don't know.
movie change
Cinema
that?
has always been like a little different. I find like in terms of actually no, I guess not really, because I was thinking of the thing that kept going through my mind was like, you guys ever played or heard of Homefront, like the video
Oh,
game
yeah.
Home?
I love that.
Not the new one, like the original Homefront.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was always thinking about how interesting it was that it was all about like
China.
like North Koreans
Was it North
invading.
Korea? I thought it was China.
Yeah, it was North Korea. Yeah,
Oh.
North Korea invading U.S. soil. But I remember when it first came out, there was even though it was a story about the Americans, triumphing or at least semi-triumphing,
Fighting back against the invaders, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a lot of politicians and shit were like pissed. But that's all that like media is in fucking
Well,
North
look at
America,
Modern
man. It's just a
Warfare,
political.
No, not Modern Warfare. Think about, remember back to Battlefield 4, where like people were pissed off that it was China who was the enemy?
Yeah, there was like a whole mission. There was a mission where like I think somewhere in America or an allied country was like attacked, and it was like a nuke was dropped on like an allied country, and politicians were fucking livid when Battlefield came out because they were just like, you can't do that.
Yeah, it was something about
It was like,
China
what?
as well, like Battlefield 4, China being the villain.
So,
But
so we're allowed.
we
We're allowed.
got games like Modern Warfare that pick the fight with Russia, and then fucking France gets basically nuked and shit. You got Fallout where it's China.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I was. I always thought that was funny too. Like,
So that
it's
shit-
exactly what you
I
were
don't
saying.
know.
Like Fallout is literally a game set in post. But I guess it's because it's a less of a big deal because the whole world like was destroyed. It was less like I feel like if there was a piece of fiction.
Well, that's a thing in Metro 23. It's everyone died in mutual destruction, and they weren't sure if any other countries made it. It's kind of like Fallout, but in Russia, and not
Russia?
in 2557 or whatever the year.
Rush
is in
out.
Fallout.
I think Fallout takes place in like the
Future.
2500s or something.
Yeah.
2700s.
But
Well,
like,
also
everything
alternate
paused in the
universe.
50s. No.
Yeah, Fallout's an alternate universe.
Well, yeah. Okay. I thought. Sorry, I kind of mis.
Oh yeah, it is an alternate universe
It's
because
not Earth,
in the
Earth.
50s we had like robot technology and shit. Yeah.
It's
Honestly-
like if the world stopped in the 50s for hundreds of years.
Wasn't Fallout's universe like wasn't it such like a big deal? Like it was so advanced because like they actually acknowledged Nikola Tesla's
Yeah, there was something about that. I think
Yeah,
it
there was
New
something
Vegas, they
about them.
explored
In like
Yeah,
the
like-
earlier games, probably I don't recall the.
No, yeah. What I think like the whole thing was that like the reason why the world was so far ahead in technological superiority was because all scientific minds were taken seriously rather than it being kind of like an arms race of who can create. And it ended up becoming an arms race, but I mean, like in the it was almost like a new technological renaissance. Like we were seeing like crazy robot tech being built in like the 20s and 30s and shit. Like I just thought that was so fucking cool, man.
that.
I love
Rapture.
the Fallout.
I love like playing Fallout and seeing the loading screens, and there's that one loading screen where it's like big robotic pony, only 50 grand, and it's just
Yeah.
like 50 grand back then, motherfucker. That must have been so expensive, but everybody was like doing well. Like the economy was amazing because
But
we
also
built
keep
a
in mind,
utopia.
it wasn't back then. It was.
No, yeah, no,
inflation's
exactly,
probably through the
exactly.
roof.
It was set like what is Fallout 77? That's like
76?
yeah. What is that? 2076, right?
No, just
I think it takes place
76. 1976. Oh, yeah, actually, no, maybe it was 2076.
I think it's 2076. Yeah, 2076 was like the day that the vaults opened or something, or
But yeah, like if you think about it in that sense, like you look back, you're playing Red Dead Redemption, and someone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy your horse from you. Here's $3." But it's like, "Whoa, $3 then? Big spender." Oh, look out! That's probably how like Fallout is to us now.
I just thought it was really cool that like if we ever stepped foot into like the 2100s or something like that, that we would see like a return to form. Like imagine seeing like 50s aesthetic with like robotic technology and shit. Like I would just.
Isn't that
I mean,
just
that-
what steampunk is?
That's, yeah, you just define steampunk.
Is
I
it?
think you broke Nick.
No, but isn't steampunk more like I don't know. Like when I think of steampunk, I think of like
It's more like 20s, 30s.
it always brings me back to like late 1900s like London. Like that's when I think of steampunk. I think of like that kind of like industrial sort of like Fable 3 kind of shit. Like late Fable 3 kind of
A
shit.
little bit of both. It's kind of in the middle.
Yeah, because like
Well,
when I think of like
30s,
when I think of like
So
Fallout,
retro
when I think of like I was thinking retro punk, like thinking of like the 50s aesthetic, but like like everything 50s and like greasers and all that kind of shit, but having like just robots walking around.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I will. A lot of retro punk and steampunk seems to
Seem to be
Kinda
synonymous.
kind of blend together.
Yeah. Okay, so it's like if it's synonymous, and yeah, I guess you could throw it any other way.
But there's not much of that like 50s greaser vibe.
Oh, you know what? When I think of steampunk, actually, I think of Dishonored, like the Dishonored games.
Mm.
That was really well done steampunk, in my opinion. I loved that shit.
I have to
Not
say,
number
this game
two, not
still
number two.
plays really well.
Anthem.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like if Destiny was worse than it already was.
A little bit.
Which
It's
is
a much
awesome.
more
I like
mobile
it.
game. Like,
That's what I'm saying, man. I wish some days that we didn't have so much access to different like different platforms and media and shit that we can get information fed to us 24/7, because there used to be times like when I was a kid where we'd just go to like Blockbuster and I would just pick up a game based on what the cover looked like. It would never, like, I'd never have any details about it. I wouldn't like have any reviews. I wouldn't have any outside forces like telling me whether I was gonna be good or bad. I would
You
just
never
like,
had a
like
Nintendo
it.
Power subscription?
Well, we were
I never.
We were
I
talking
did.
about
I had
that.
Game Informer later on in life.
Yeah, like we were talking about that on the Visceral Cleanup or whatever that game was called. Nick basically said the exact same thing. I'd kind of like to delve deeper into that. Well, I think I already said exactly this on that podcast. Was that back then gaming wasn't the big medium that it is now. Wasn't only the nerds played it. So we didn't get like trailers and hype and all that. Yeah,
There was trailers all the way back to like Super Mario and Zelda.
Yeah,
I just didn't have access to the internet.
But that's the saying, like not even access to the
They were on
internet.
TV.
But you didn't see. Did you really see them on TV?
Yeah, I remember specifically seeing.
I only had like 25 channels on my TV.
I remember the first game trailer I ever saw, and that was the Mad World version of the Gears of War.
That was the first.
That
Jesus
commercial
Christ,
that was
I'm
the
gonna splice
first, and
in.
I watched
the Halo 3. I saw Halo
constantly.
3.
I'm gonna splice in the trailer for Zelda 2 that I saw as a kid on TV.
Yeah, that would be like way outside of my like. I think like the first video game commercial I ever saw was Max Payne 2. I remember that popping up on the TV. That was like 2002, I think. And then I remember Halo 3s was a huge thing, like the miniatures. That shit was
seeing
crazy.
Trailers for 007 GoldenEye.
Oh, dude, that's nuts.
Donkey Kong Country. I saw. Sorry, not Country. Donkey Kong 64. There were trailers.
Yeah, I don't
for.
remember any of that.
Super Mario Sunshine had trailers.
I mean, I only had YTV and like Teletoons.
So I didn't even have Teletoon, and it's like they were still out there. You just maybe I have the biggest memory for the dumbest things.
Maybe you do have the biggest memory.
Probably
for the
do
dumbest
have
things.
I remember the dumbest little thing. I won't remember someone's name for their life, but I will remember that they broke a window 6 years ago and a dog came in.
Yeah, that's fucked, huh?
True story.
But you know what? That's a little more entertaining than someone's name, so I can see why you remember that more than.
I guess, yeah.
Well, Nick had a point where it kind of sucks that we have like so much access to.
Well, it's like a double-edged sword. Like, I mean, I do love having the ability to see like news when it comes in immediately, but I also like I said, I remember one game that my brother and I joke about all the time was I remember my dad got me Shell Shock 2 like back when it came out, and it was absolutely fucking atrocious. Like in terms of being like a game, it was ridiculous. But because like I didn't really have a concept of like what I really thought was good and bad, was good and bad outside of the realm of just like having fun with it. Like a good game to me would have just been a game I had fun playing. Like it had nothing to do with story. I didn't really have a grasp or concept of like who I wanted to be in terms of what I enjoyed entertainment wise. So like I just kind of went with the flow. Like whatever was fun, and I just that's what made it. Like some friends would come to school and talk about like certain games or whatever, like Super Mario or some shit. New Super Mario game came out or the Wii came out or whatever, and I would be there sitting there going like, oh, my brother got a Wii. I played Mad World on it. It was a lot of fun, and everyone's like, what the fuck is Mad World? And I'm just like, oh.
It was kind of nice to just kind of be that like you get what you get bullshit.
Yeah. And also, I feel like
a lot of my games were like hand-me-downs when I was growing up. So like,
hand-me-downs, and also like in small quantities. So like, even if I had kind of like what Nick was saying, a game that technically speaking would be an awful game, but it's what I had.
That's all you had, so you had to go through it.
You played the absolute hits out of that game.
There was a game.
Remember like.
Yep.
Which one's going? Who's going?
Fucking, I'm going. There was a game. I don't remember the name of it. I think it was like Operation Black something.
Now he's just talking really fast.
I just gotta get it out so that Nick can just shit. It was like Operation. It was fucking terrible, but it was the second game I had on 360 aside Gears of War, and I fucking blew through Gears of War.
Was it Black Site Area 51?
No, that was a good one.
That game.
Yeah.
Wait, no, not Black Site Area 51. Actually, yeah, no, it was Black Site Area 51.
Just Area 51 was the cool one because he turned into a fucking alien.
And David Duchovny was the main character, and Marilyn Manson was the alien. It was a fucking great game. It was Black Site Area 51, and it was fucking atrocious, but I played the living Christ out of that game.
It was like a fun game. It just wasn't a good game.
Oh, God, no.
But Yeah, like one of my first games when I was growing up was all we had was like a Windows 98. And I had like a PS1 and stuff, but like my dad used to when he was younger, he actually used to be a lot more technologically proficient than he is now. And he used to like ROM like all the like all my PS1 games and stuff. So like everything would be fucking, just like it was cracked games, like fucking modded PS1. So I like some of the first games I played were just kind of like Spyro and shit. But then like one game that really left an impression when I was younger was just like a hand me down because my uncle used to just give me back when you could when they were DRM free and you could fucking put PC games on any computer and like lend it to your friends and you could install it and there wasn't like you could type in the same fucking product code every single time. My uncle gave me my dad gave me Age of Empires 2 like for the PC when I was really really young. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, I didn't have a fucking clue how to like play a strategy game. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And but it was just fun, man. Like there was no like outside influence telling me, well, this is what you do, whatever. My dad just kind of let me sit there and like play this PC game and it was a fun experience. It's the same with like, that's why I used to love, I kind of miss Blockbuster, man. I miss being able to just walk in and like walking through an aisle. And I remember like one day we were going to rent a game that was like, samurai like bikini fucking anime girls like killing zombies. Yeah, like what the fuck? I remember like
360. I actually
that was wild.
Oni
Dude.
Chinbara.
Yeah, that was we went through a wild time of video gaming where like you walk into a store and like I remember when I first played the Godfather game before I even knew what the Godfather movie was. Like I didn't even know what the Godfather movie was. I just saw the Godfather game and I'm like, wow, this looks really cool. And I just picked it up. And then years later, my dad's like, that's a film, right? I was like, what? What the fuck, bro? That's how cool and oblivious like gaming used to be, in my opinion. I used to miss that kind of shit. Unless you were like you were saying, Ryan, where like you had to like. But even then, like a subscription to a magazine, man.
Nintendo Power
I feel
wasn't
like
enough.
Yeah, I feel like
really
it was
change
still
the world.
just kind of you're just getting a taste.
Yeah, I remember one of the games that I got. I found out because of a video game magazine, and I got it out of spite. So it was 2007.
Who the fuck are you spiting yourself?
No, the game. So 2007, Halo 3 came out, right? Halo 3, the best game ever. And then Game of the Year was like, the winner is BioShock. And I'm like,
oh shit, dude.
What is this BioShock beating Halo?
Halo 3 came out in 2009.
I'm gonna go and rent this BioShock game.
Wasn't BioShock 06?
And see how garbage it was. And I played BioShock, and I'm like, yo, this game is fucking sick.
Yeah, see, BioShock's a great fucking example of walking into a store not knowing anything about a game, seeing a case that just grabs your attention, man. The Big Daddy on the front. I still remember the original commercials for BioShock where like they didn't show any gameplay. It was just a cinematic of a Big Daddy and a bunch of robots around. Like
that was a game that sold me on commercial alone.
Yeah, with the somewhere do like playing in the background, and my brother and I were just like, we got to get this fucking game. It was rented out from Blockbuster for 6 weeks in a row, man, and then finally we got our hands on it.
Brampton Blockbuster.
We were in a queue. No, dude, back in Mississauga when we were younger, but it depends. Like which Brampton Blockbuster are you thinking of?
The Heart Lake one always had everything in stock.
Yeah, the Heart Lake one always had it, except for when I moved there. When I was like, you actually would have still been in Heart Lake area too, I guess.
Yeah, I probably rented it before you. That was the problem.
Yeah, I remember when Borderlands 1 came out, and that's another great example of a game that I had no idea what it was about, and we just rented it because people I'd go to school and all these kids were talking about Borderlands, and I'm just like, what the hell? Okay, I got to give this a try if it's as popular as it is. And I remember having to call ahead, and the one guy that we knew at the Heart Lake Blockbuster was so cool, and he was a buddy of ours, so he would actually reserve new games for us, which he wasn't allowed to do. But he used to do it for us anyway, which is really cool.
Who you know, not what you know.
Yeah, exactly. And but Borderlands ended up being such a fucking polarizing experience for me. I still sit back and I'm just like, damn, son, that was insane. If I could go back and there's some games I wish I could try once over again.
I was super late to
everything
to Borderlands.
That's fine. It doesn't matter when you show up. It just
no, but
how fun you have.
I remember there was this just random small used video game store near my high school, and I would go over there every now and again and just kind of look at what they had, and they had like this like $1 bin kind of thing. So I was going through that, trying, picking up whatever games that I could. In high school I didn't have a job, I didn't really have money, so I got $20. What can I do with it? So I just bought a shit ton of games, and Borderlands was one of the games that I got for $1. And I never got around to playing it for a long time until I just ran out of games. I'm like, okay, time to go through the $1 pile. Popped in Borderlands, and oh boy, it changed my life.
It was a good time.
For a game that doesn't have a story, I was into it.
Well, it does. It's just so buried in nothingness.
But I had a good time with it. It was funny, and like just the characters were great, and the world was fun, and the weapons were cool. Just everything was enjoyable without having to just be a full story. And then I was let down, tragically.
Yeah, but that's just, I feel like that happens, man. Sometimes sequels aren't the best.
Borderlands 3 is just the breakup I can't get over. It started off so good. I thought we were gonna get married and everything. All of a sudden, they changed.
I'm waiting for Game of the Year edition with all the DLCs, and then I will pick it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm really, really glad that I waited on the Borderlands string, because originally I was gonna buy it like day one.
That's the problem with this one. Waiting is what fucked it up. If you got it in the first week, it played awesome.
It will eventually come back around again. They will fix everything as it goes on in time.
I just don't know how it happened in the first place, let alone the 15th place after like their last update. It still doesn't work.
It's all about drop rates and updates. It's like fucking Destiny went down a day. Like, was it Tuesday? They did a big update, and it ended up deleting something from players' inventory, so they had to take it down and roll everything back. It happens sometimes with updates.
I don't know, man. I know we've had this conversation at least 4 times on the podcast, but I miss it when we didn't have the luxury of fixing things as they went, right? And just putting out a finished game.
Yeah, but again, you wouldn't, like, that's all you get, and that doesn't fly anymore.
But one of the things I'm thinking of, and not no updates forever, I mean like this ready access that they could just boom, drop an update and change things. Like DLC is cool and all, but like, I don't know. I think of a lot of games that I sit back and like, if the developers took like an extra year or 2 years, I think that can turn a good game into a great game, or a bad game into a good game. But I see a lot of games that just kind of roll. And we were talking about that when you sprung the Dying Light delay on us. I kind of miss when games that like, take a few years to come out and they actually put time into it. I don't like this whole 1.5 year turnaround that these games are starting to have.
Well, they're not. You just only see that 1.5 years because they don't
like
announce
something like Destiny, which is now kind of games as a service. Like I don't go into playing Warframe thinking, I want a perfectly well fleshed out. Okay, no, it's a game as a service. Like it kind of goes. But something like Borderlands, like finish that, then put it out, and then add DLC. Like there's not really too much in Borderlands that requires this game as a service practice. Like, they just recently introduced like these like one-off like event boss fights that pop up here and there. But other than that, there's not a whole lot that demands an online presence. And that's what kind of bums me about specifically Borderlands, is that they did so much damage to that game that I feel like totally just didn't need to happen. Just didn't need to happen at all.
Yeah, again, it was rushed. They still don't have crossplay.
I don't think they will.
I honestly don't. At this point, until it comes out on Steam, I don't think it's going to have crossplay.
They were like crossplay at launch, and then they're like, crossplay within the month, and then it's like a year later, like it's on our minds.
I feel like Steam has the better servers. So therefore, when it comes out on Steam with like the everything bundle, that might be the opportunity to put it crossplay.
Well, who are they with? It's Epic, right?
It's Epic right now. But I don't know what the Epic.
It's like King crossplay.
Kind of, yeah, but it's all proprietary. So I don't think they want to work on their own kind of thing. Or, sorry, I think they want to work on their own kind of thing and not have to use Epic servers. Because Dauntless did the same thing. They went exclusively with Epic, and they are reliant on what servers Epic decides to give them.
I totally forgot about Dauntless.
Yeah.
Damn.
Remember when we played that for
Dauntless.
a week?
I still play it on Switch all the time. It's still pretty fun.
Isn't that like off-brand Monster Hunter World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
It was fun.
cartoony kids version.
It was like Fortnite meets Monster Hunter World.
It was not a bad
It was
game.
like it was like Paladins to Overwatch.
Paladins became better than Overwatch, though.
Damn, son, that's a fighting words.
Sorry, it's like that
Good
to
thing
me is a
Lucas
fact.
isn't here to hear that.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say I'm not. Well, I mean, good thing he's not here to hear this, but I'm not really a big fan of Overwatch, so.
Not anymore. I'm not.
It really depends on who you are. I think
So you can
Overwatch
suck
is a
me
very
dry, Lucas. You can
fun-
suck me dry.
Overwatch is a very fun, fleshed out game, but
It's not.
like for like me as a gamer, I don't like the super repetitive, constant like online games. Like CS:GO, awesome game, but I wouldn't spill hundreds and hundreds of hours into it like Nick does.
Oh hell yeah!
And Overwatch, I wouldn't spill hundreds and hundreds of hours into it as Lucas does, and Ryan spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on loot boxes in Overwatch that he doesn't play anymore.
I'm waiting for the second game.
Yeah, shut up. It's like those games get super boring for me super quick. But I can see like Overwatch of all the games like that, I can see why someone could spend a lot of time into that.
It's
It's a good
competitive
feeling
kind of game. Yeah,
Like, that game feels good.
I've been getting into Apex again recently. It's just one of those games that you play for a while, you binge, you get your fucking shit in, you get good at it, and then finally you get burnt out, so you go to something else.
I need to play
what?
that game with friends.
Yes, you need to play Apex with friends. You absolutely have to.
Did I tell you about that one game that I had? So it was me and two randoms. And we dropped by the I think it's like a dam or like just kind of like a big warehouse area. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyways, we drop in. They both immediately get fucking down. So it's a 1v3. I drop two of the guys. And
What
then
is this? Apex?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
dropped two of the bad guys, pick up one of the guys, and then he gets downed again. I go to pick up the second guy, and I get fucking shot and I die.
Oh, but I heard you're
but-
bad at the game.
But the whole time my team's like, "Whoa, way to go, retard with fucking Grim Reaper, you fucking stupid retard."
dude.
I'm like, yo, I
Apex?
fucking
You
fuck
survived.
you guys.
You survived
Dude,
Modern Warfare
Apex?
2 lobbies. Don't give me that shit.
But Apex is really bad for the shit talk. I will
God, yeah.
100% admit that,
I'll
dude.
take shit.
I'm like,
If I'm
yeah, I'm
bad,
like, what
yell
the
at me.
fuck?
If I'm bad, yell at me. But they got downed immediately. I dropped two of the other guys, picked one up, and he died again. But I'm the retard.
Oh no, dude! Apex is the game of doing no right. You can do no right in that game. It just you just get there's not like literally nothing you can do that would make your teammates go, oh great job, unless you single-handedly carry the fucking game.
Yeah.
Because
But even then, you can single-handedly carry the team. But they're like, "Wow, you couldn't get me up."
The best part is you're
yeah,
actually
exactly.
better
Fucking
off
get
on
me up, bro.
Xbox than
But then you
PlayStation
don't get
because
them up
more
and be like,
kids.
"Why'd you get me up, retard?" Anyways, go on.
You're better off on PlayStation or on Xbox than PlayStation because all the kids are on PS4 because it was the cheaper console.
No. It's bad everywhere.
No, I know. I'm just saying you're technically in a better situation of lobbies on Xbox than you are PS4.
It's still bad though. Like Call of Duty's rough. Call of Duty's rough, but even then, you'll still have like Call of Duty. There's diversity. You got the guys that call you a retard. You got the guys that get mad. You got the comedians. You got the guy that takes it super seriously and says GG every time. You know what I mean? Like there's a toss up. Apex, it's just straight, like Nick was saying, you can do no right. It's just you're an asshole.
Actually,
is a
MCC
fun
has
game,
been
though.
really shit lately.
What's
Like
been shit?
lobbies in MCC have been fucking
gotcha.
nightmarish.
I could see that. I could see like all the kids coming back from like
It's not.
now
It's
with
the
Yeah,
fucking
but
adults
PC.
who were in
no, that's what I'm saying.
like,
I
the
can see all
Halo
the
2
kids
lobbies.
yeah, that's what I'm
just
saying.
continuing to be 7.
The kids who used to play when they were younger that are coming back and now they're even worse.
Yeah,
I
it's
had
disgusting.
a great time in Halo 2 and Halo 3 lobbies back when I would actually chat with strangers because I was a
The
carefree
only
kid.
time anyone uses chat now in MCC lobbies, at least on PC, is to shit talk another person on their team. That's the only.
Yep.
Like I've I don't know if you saw the streams or not, but we tried to get people going. We had one group of people singing fucking Still Alive from Portal. That was the best group of people we ever got.
Still alive, dude. I remember playing that shit on Rock Band, having to download that cocksucker.
Yeah, we had one good lobby. The rest of it is we try to get a conversation going, and immediately they're just like, well, fuck off. Can you shut up? I'm trying to play, or I'm trying to talk to my friends. Like, how would you talk to us in the fucking lobby, and we play the goddamn game? You antisocial little bitch.
Oh, I can't believe you'd say that to him.
I didn't.
But that might also be the PC thing going on. I feel like a lot of the
Xbox is the same. We're in a party chat at all times.
I was gonna say, because I feel like a lot of like the go-to Halo players, like the guys that really enjoy playing the game, will be playing on the Xbox.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
At least until
like, I was
comes.
playing some Griffball.
Griffball.
Maybe a month ago. Oh man, my buddy Johnny and I would rock Griffball after school. We were so damn good. But yeah, like I was still doing really good, and I got put into this lobby where like, yo, these kids were serious about it. Like their call outs and everything. I'm like, yo, bro, like we're wiping booty cheeks. And I'm just having a good time. I don't know if it'd be like that on PC.
Yeah, it's okay. That's a good spot to end it.
I was gonna say, it looks like we're at the hour mark.
Yeah, that's a good part. This is a good spot.
I want to pull some Call of Duty, baby.
Play some Call of Duty.
I'm all updated.
I'm playing some Anthem right now. Panic.
This is my episode.
Are you good, bro?
No.
Yeah.
Work,
Hey Nick. Do you like listen to music?
No.
Nick?
Yeah.
You like listening to music? What is your go-to streaming platform for streaming music?
Spotify.
Spotify. Cool fact. Pillars of Autumn. We're on Spotify. Did you know that we're also on iTunes, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, Google, Amazon, all that cool stuff?
Does anyone use Tidal?
Probably not. You can also check us out at Facebook at Pillars of Autumn Official. Instagram, I think it's also Pillars of Autumn Official or Pillars _of_. It doesn't matter.
You're leading them astray.
I don't use our Instagram. I don't know our handle.
You can
buy our CDs at ChugStore.com. You can buy our shirts at pillarsofautumnofficial.bigcartel.com.
We have a show tomorrow.
Doesn't matter because they're going to be hearing this after the show.
Yeah, we have a show.
We played the show 2 days ago. Oh, but we're going to be in Oshawa July 4th, headlining the Battleground Music Festival. So look out for that.
That's going to be crazy.
Months. Bye.
Bye.
Right. Extra noses pounces on you. Ooh, you're so good. Couldn't help but notice your both.
When does it actually fucking cut out? Like what?
Your Nicky Wicky till day hee hee. Unzips your baggiest pants, oh baby, you so musky. Take me home, pet me, and make me yours, and don't forget to stuff me.